Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the Striaton City Gym. I'm your host, Joshua.
And I'm Zaz. And Joshua's fake because he didn't say it the same way that he did in the intro.
Blooper reel, baby.
That you'll never
That's
see.
what they're for. No.
So we finally, a month later, almost exactly a month later, I have the conclusion to our League Cup. Posted it on August the 5th. We have Austin Sherman on the left, playing against Preston on the right.
So we got, Austin Sherman on the right, playing good old reliable Arcatina. And then Preston here, is playing, what was from the last video? Urshi good, Urshi spread. Can we get a clip of Kevin just for the homies out there? Just
Urshi good. Urshi spread.
He does hit up. This guy doesn't ever break, I'm telling you, because he started the Forest Sealstone to get Battle VIP Pass. So you got that going for him.
May look crazy, yeah.
Austin has the Box of Disasters into the path to the Judge. I don't think Box of Disasters is too useful, so I'm okay with him attaching it because it doesn't do anything, so he might as well.
It's one of those weird cards, isn't it? Like, there was like this 3-4 week period where this card was like talked about and was like, yo, this is actually kind of insane.
It's
this helps numbers really well, and then just like fell off the face of the planet.
It's because Guardy really just was like swinging big dick energy around, and that's the card that countered it. And then Guardy kind of fell off. So it's not as useful. Judge gives Austin the attach energy for turn. So he's pretty good. He's just kind of chilling. Preston has to be cheating. There's no way that because the Judge gave him an Ultra Ball, it'll probably get him Octillery.
Let's call him out for cheating right now.
That's all I'm saying. Get this guy out of here. You don't deserve any points. Because I did see he has a Tower of Waters in hand. So that's a pretty cool card.
I mean, maybe it's the deck rigging that's what's gonna get you champion of our League Cups here,
Could be. Oh, he just has research. He just
I'm just
has
saying,
it.
Man. Yeah, dude,
I didn't even see that. What a little cheater, dude.
He's gonna get a Luminion.
I would have definitely liked to see him play down the temple or the Tower of Waters. Because then he could have actually just killed this Arceus in one shot.
Yeah. Oh, and Saucin.
He can Gale Thrust for 60, which is kind of cool. Which I do like this because it does keep him out of Box of Disasters damage. Which
can I just say, this man's shuffle process is very mesmerizing.
It is.
I don't know. I've never seen anyone in our store shuffle that way. It's always it always takes a little longer to get those chunks of deck together, or they'll do the whatever they'll do.
The little Yu-Gi-Oh shuffle.
This guy's he's got the hands of magic. That's what winners are all about.
This guy, he just has double Urshifu into Gale Thrust for 60, which is good math because if Austin does evolve into the V-Star, which I think he's gonna get right now. He will get what's it called? He'll get killed by Rapid Flow, because it will do the weakness damage for 240, plus 60 will be 300 for knockout, and then Preston will get to put damage on other guys. So he's probably just gonna stick with Giratina, which I think is fine, into another Judge.
Ooh-wee.
Kind of annoying because Preston does have Octillery, so he can get literally any card out of his deck at any given time.
That's what I've always felt about Judges and Ionos in this style of matchup. It's just really hard to actually make that effective against once an Octillery is in play. If a Judge before the Octillery can get into play, you know what I mean? That is probably one of the biggest Judges ever. But then the moment that Octillery comes down, it becomes one of the weakest cards in the deck.
He also does not have the Arceus V-Star, but he does have a second energy for Trinity Charge. I think it's fine. I would have liked to see Trinity Nova. I mean, obviously he didn't get it, but I would have liked to see it. Just put some pressure on the Urshifu. Is gonna get Bidoof. Can't be killed by Rapid Flow. So
there goes all the energy onto the Giratina V-Star.
Guy's definitely a cheater because he got Melanie off of the judge. Like,
I was about to say.
Like, I just
Man's
don't
got
understand.
Melanie.
Like, this guy just always has everything he needs to make his life happy. So, Josh, let's say you are this Arceus Giratina player. Okay?
Yeah.
Now, you hate yourself because you're playing a deck
Right.
that is boring. But you're excited because you're playing Pokemon for the first time in your life.
Right.
Now, how do you go about this matchup? What do you think is important to be able to beat this deck? Because Urshifu, I think, is favored just because of weakness. Weakness damage,
Yeah.
I think, is more
Weakness against
prevalent.
Arceus definitely is a bit of a struggle here. You know, like nothing's coming to me at the moment. I guess just getting that lead off, getting the damage out, you know, very important, especially against like this Urshifu. You know what I'm saying? Like having Trinity Nova versus Trinity Charge is one thing I guess that comes to mind. I mean, Starbirthing obviously before Path. But I mean, what can you do? You're trying to prevent this one stuff. Honestly, I'm gonna keep it real, chat. I'm very inexperienced with this, with Tina arc, so I really have no statement here. But I mean, I guess you have an answer for me.
Well, I think, first of all, Austin plays the third Disruption supporter in a row.
Right.
And, bro, is that an Arita in that guy's hand? There's actually no way. He just there's no shot.
He's just like,
I would be
like
livid.
He knows.
I
Look
would
at
be
the confidence in those hands.
So,
this
I
man
think
knows.
I think the way that you go about this is, if the auxiliary is on the bench, even though it kind of sucks and you don't want to do it, I feel like you just kind of have to like go for the knockout on it, because it's your whole, it's your opponent's whole engine. Like if he only has one auxiliary. Now, granted, there has been no way for Austin to be able to do that effectively. He has had to disrupt his opponent every single turn and has not had the option to play boss's orders.
Right.
But on the other hand, I think killing the auxiliary is important. It just kind of shuts your opponent down. Getting any card out of the deck is pretty good. Now, it doesn't get you any card. It gets you any Rapid Strike card.
Yeah.
However, those are the most important cards in the entire deck for Preston.
Exactly.
They really just...
And especially with the Forest Seal Stone out here, I mean, like, already being used up, you know, there isn't really much incentive for you to just constantly shuffle your opponent's deck when they can essentially unshuffle their deck by just grabbing whatever they want that turn and setting the momentum back in their favor, you know, whereas, you know, playing a bosses onto that auxiliary could really kill any pressure he has. You know, if he has to use Rapid Flow, discarding his energy, he's not going to get any momentum back for a while, and that could be enough time for your Giratina to come back and take a knockout or two.
Right. And, like, imagine if he had knocked out the auxiliary before this turn. Well, Preston wouldn't have been able to get himself the Rapid Strike energy for this play to be able to Gale Thrust the active Pokemon.
Exactly.
Which I imagine is what he's gonna do. I don't feel there's another thing he
When
could
man
do.
plays Rapid Powers, I mean, it's probably going to get retreating into a fat smack there. He's
Yeah,
gonna bench himself a couple boys here.
He is gonna get the second Remoraid, which I like. He does notice, like, hey, if my auxiliary goes down, there's no shot. Like, I'm done. Like, there's
And this
literally
is exactly
nothing I
where
can
it comes
do.
into play now. You can see now with this, now he has the absolute demanding board state, even without accounting the fact you get a bonus card every turn. Now that you have two Remoraids in play, it's almost impossible for you to come back on this play because your deck does not play spread.
Right.
So the moment that second Remoraid comes down, it's even worse. You know, he at least had an opportunity here at the beginning to try and get rid of that first Octillery, get himself some space to work with, and now, even if he does find a way to knock out the Octillery, there's no point in it anymore. He might as well just be going for brute force knockouts.
And he does by using Rapid Flow, not Rapid Flow, Gale Thrust. It does put Giratina at a position where he can Yoga Loop it next turn. And take an extra
100%.
turn right away, and if he finds a boss's orders, he could very easily turn that into a Gale Thrust onto Arceus for game and just take all 6 prize cards. Austin kind of eyeing up his hand, really nothing going on. So Austin kind of eyeing up his hand here, going for the boss's orders. And I really like this play. Just gonna take 3 prize cards. You know Giratina is going down, but you just kind of limit your opponent's ability to do that, or to manipulate damage on the board.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's huge.
I will say one thing as well about his disruption here. I mean, while we're real quick just looking through these, while he's setting up his board here playing, I think the disruption here in this game actually kind of messed him up more than it messed up his opponent, if you think about it. Especially even like with the Octillery in play, you know, with the great ass draws that this man has been hitting off the top deck. I mean, like, it has been crazy. Like it's basically prevented Sherman here from actually grabbing any really important cards. I mean, man doesn't even have a barrel in play to like restock. He only just now got a boss's orders in play, you know, whereas he could have probably been researching away stuff, trying to thin out to get to that boss. Instead, he was trying to shuffle his opponent's hand to get into the nuts anyways.
Well, to
Which,
be
granted,
fair,
I guess that's more of a foresight thing, but you know.
yeah, to be fair, also, I don't think Sherman plays research in his deck. He just plays a heavy disruption list with Path. So his real goal in most other matchups is to go for an early Starbirth into a Path.
Listen, comment section. I was offered a deck list before we started viewing this, and I did not take it, so that is on my fault.
It's on your fault.
It is all my fault.
Ah, okay. So, Preston going for... He does have Inteleon VMAX. Gonna spread some damage with Double Gunner. Then he Octilleries for Corinna's Focus, which... really good card in this matchup. It's just a draw supporter that he can get whenever he wants. What's better than that? Nothing.
Yeah,
Then,
yeah. I've always thought the Karina's is a very interesting card because in the grand scheme of things, it's a terrible card. I mean, drawing until you have 6 is not very much what you want to be doing. I mean, that's basically like a worse old Lily on turn 1, you know. But and it doesn't even shuffle your deck. You know, you're not thinning anything out of your hand. But in this case, the fact that it is searchable is what makes it really good. And honestly, having 1 or 2 of those is really, really nice to have. Which I believe, if I look at his deck, he has what, 2 Karinas?
Yes.
Yeah, not having too many of those, but having just enough to grab for once or twice a game to save your ass is always nice.
So Preston, I think going for checkmate with this play, he's gonna rapid flow, knock out the Giratina, put 120 on the Arceus V-Star, so that way if he gets like boss orders energy or something, he can or if he can just get his Inteleon in the active spot with an energy card, he can just take a knockout with 140 damage, which would be just enough.
Yeah, would just swoop-de-whoop his whole life around.
Now this, I think, would be a very good time to Starbirth on Sherman's part. Starbirth into like an Iono. Yeah, your opponent is going to be able to get a card with Rapid Strike Search. But if you path them too, it just kind of limits all their options. You can't use Radiant Alakazam. You can't, he won't be able to retreat with Tower of Waters. This is where the disruption is really going to come in. With only 2 cards, there's only so much Preston can do with Rapid Strike Search. You only get 1 card.
Right, like, so you're saying if he pathed an Iono with the Starbirth?
If he pathed an Iono with Starbirth...
He would have to be able to find exactly the tower as well as the energy to discard to do damage. And Alakazam just to move the damage.
Well, he doesn't need all of that. He would just need... he needs Tower Waters energy. And
well, that's what I meant. Like there's
so he just needs one of those cards.
He needs all that at once. You know what I'm saying? Like he needs a couple of those things.
But with only 2 cards, it's really good for Sherman at this point. He's gonna shuffle his hand up. He did have energy in his hand. He's used 2 Rapid Strike energies. He's played one Tower of Waters and discarded another one. Okay, alright, this guy's just the best at the game, I guess, because it was right on the top. Are you actually kidding me? I forgot this is how it happened. I was literally like 3 feet away, and I forgot this happened. I would be so mad. I think Austin...
I would low-key start calling hacks.
I think Austin did everything correct. That's what I would do. I like that he saved the Starbirth, because he could have done it as soon as Preston bounced the path.
Yeah.
But he just waited. This was a good play by Austin. Use Arceus, put plenty of damage on. Austin does only need to take 3 prize cards, so if Preston just didn't have anything, he would just lost the game right there. But no, he had all of it, so he didn't need.
Yeah.
He didn't need artillery.
Didn't even need artillery there.
So Preston's gonna take game 1. We're gonna go into game 2. Get a good fist bump. Austin's gonna go on first on the draw. It's what you like to see as
DT.
exactly.
Yep.
This is exactly what you want to see. Double turbo. He does have path, which I don't think is super important right now. Not really a lot of abilities he could use.
Even get the nice barrel there on it, or a Bidoof there. That's not bad either. Especially since it can't get hit by bench damage. You know, it's not going to get punched on turn 2.
Exactly. But Preston just has a Rita. They just have it. Like
they're just that good. You know.
He's probably gonna get him an Inteleon and Battle VIP pass. Taking a good look at the deck, seeing what he has. I got the second Remoraid. And I think he kind of appreciated it last game. And I think he doesn't really need Inteleon, so he might just go the route of getting Octillery with the Arita and then using Battle VIP pass for Urshifu and Remoraid, which is what he decides to do.
100%. Yeah. You know, honestly, with how the recent Pokemon games have been coming out with terrible champions at the end, or at least terrible teams for champions, this is the kind of this is the kind of person I want to see as the final boss of the game. You know, just absolutely destroying you with nothing but sheer willpower.
What in the fuck are you talking about?
I'm saying that Preston is cracked at this game, and this is the kind of thing we need for like an endgame champion.
Okay. So, since he got the Inteleon anyway, I don't know how I feel about him getting Octillery right this second. He does only play 2 Octilleries. I think he only plays 1 Arita, if I'm correct. So, you know your opponent plays a lot of disruption cards.
He does play 2.
Oh, he plays 2? Okay.
He does play 2.
Oh, this is big. The Strafe. Strafe for 60. That's actually important. The weakness damage actually makes that very important.
Yeah.
Now, you know your opponent plays a lot of disruption cards. In fact, he just top decked the Judge. I don't know how I feel about putting Octillery in your hand. You're really just saying, do you have Arceus V-Star in hand? And he does. He has Ultra Ball. He did play down.
It's very possible this man was on a high right there and was just like, you know what? I won this first game. I'm feeling pretty confident here. I'm just gonna test my opponent here, just for a little goofs and gaffs. I mean, this guy was practically speedrunning this game. You know, so. But you were saying?
No. I mean, I agree. He might just be playing aggressively because he knows he's up a game. He can afford to take a few more risks. Austin has to play a little more cautiously. He is gonna have the opportunity to knock out this Remoraid, but honestly, part of me really wants him to knock out that Urshifu. Like, I really do.
The weakness is gonna hit him really hard here.
Weakness is gonna hit him real hard. I
Rapid
believe
Strike energy's in play. I mean, that's a whole energy just wasted.
Right, but I understand what he's doing. He's getting Arceus V-Star. He's playing correctly. He's getting the
100%.
the Bibero. He's getting the Giratina because he already has the Path and the Judge in his hand. And a little sequencing that matters. He did use his Starbirth to grab a Nest Ball, which a lot of people probably don't think about as like an important thing. but just getting that extra card out of the deck, I think, is important. Just so you don't draw into it later, because it's just a dead card. His hand not looking super great though. He can barrel for 1 if he wants to. But he's eyeing up that Arceus V. I don't know if he wants to bench it though. I probably wouldn't. Just draw a card off of a barrel. This guy just has every card in the game. Like, this is not fair. It's not fair. He drew 4 Sealstone. Like, Austin, on God, Austin had him right there. If he didn't have 4 Sealstone, his hand is so dead. He'd have to Iono, and that's his supporter for turn. He just would have been done. He would have been done. But now, he can bench Alakazam. He can use his V-Star power. Oh, he's just gonna go for the Iono. Okay.
Oh, man.
And then he's gonna use the 4 Sealstone just to get whatever combo piece he needs. Probably Octillery. He just has it all. Like, Judge, I believe there's a clip of Austin after this game. He just says Judge and Iono aren't real cards. And they aren't, because they just give your opponent anything they ever wanted in life. And now, he doesn't have to burn all these resources. He can use his Octillery to grab the Urshifu, and he can knock out Arceus, V-Star, and Bibarel.
Yeah.
And just take 3 prize cards. And it's just as easy as that, I guess. Like, now he is gonna play the Ultra Ball. Probably, he's gonna grab Inteleon VMAX while he's in the deck. Which I think is fine.
Yeah, man's got a crazy board state here, all because he had the best hand in the world. I mean, like, you know what? He's probably right. Judge and Iono are not, in fact, real cards.
They're not, because they just don't. Apparently, they just don't do shit.
They do not work. They only make you sad.
And I have to give Austin the props he deserves, because he's playing this game correctly. Every move he's making is correct.
He really is.
I would have made some, like, boneheaded play. Like I said, I would have, like, bossed up, attached Choice Belt to, and like, knocked out Urshifu V, and I would have lost the game way harder because I just attacked something.
I would like to ask how that would be a game-losing play.
I think because your opponent... the idea is your opponent did, in fact, get Octillery, so you want to get it out of their hand. But, you know, you just judge them and they draw it anyway. It doesn't really matter.
Well, I mean, I guess. I could see a play where killing in the theory where you kill the Urshifu, they don't have Urshifu VMAX in play yet, you still have an opportunity to come back, you know. They're not going to be able to knock you out fast enough to where, even if you set up a second one, you might have the chance to just say, okay, even if I play down another one, well, this Arceus V is still going to is still going to be alive. Attack your guy. Yeah, you get more resources set up, but they might have to spend a lot more time taking out your guys. Like, take out that front Arceus,
right?
You know, because they can't knock out this with Urshifus. But I understand why his play is just straight up better. And then in hindsight, it doesn't really matter, given the fact that this man's hand is just absolutely cracked.
Absolutely. So Austin eyeing up the Ultra Ball. It looks like he's eyeing up another Bidoof. Bidoof will not get knocked out from a Rapid Flow or anything. And Preston does have a lack of energy on the board now, to be fair.
That's a Squovit right there, good sir.
He does have Octillery and 4 Sealstone. So like, he is going to attack this next turn. He is going to play Escape Rope. I don't really know how I feel about that.
Squovit with a basic energy attached. He draws his card.
Oh, I think he is I think this is where I remember what happened. So Squovette says you have to put a card on the bottom of the deck
Oh,
to
so
be
you
able
can't
to
just
draw a card.
Yeah.
So he's
So
just
he's saying
gonna
that you
put
have
the
to put the
energy on the
energy.
bottom of the deck. At this point, we had come to the conclusion, because I was over there. At this point, we had come to the conclusion that Preston was most likely gonna win this game. So we're just playing it for posterity's sake. He does have the Iono. Iono also, interestingly enough, says the same thing, except it says if either a player. So
Yeah.
you cannot play Iono
You can
if
do it on both empty hands.
Exactly. Which I think is actually interesting. And I mean, there's no
Wait, does that
reason
mean that you
for
can't
you
play
to
it, or does that mean I don't know the exact wording? Does that mean you can't play it, or it just will not resolve?
I don't think you can play it.
That'd be pretty funny if it just wouldn't resolve and you're just like, cool. I guess I just discard it for turn. Pass.
Yeah, because you can't just randomly discard, so.
Yeah.
But Austin going for a Lost Impact. Looking to eye up some prize cards. Now, Preston did get Iono the 3, but that's another 4 Seal Stone. Oh my
god!
And he has
He's
Luminion.
got the Thanos stone.
He has
He's got the
everything.
Infinity Stone.
He's gonna use Rapid Strike, sir. Oh no, he's going for Wow.
4 Steel Stone.
He's going for 4 Steel Stone.
He's gonna Cheryl away the damage. And
Attach
then
the energy.
Attach a Rapid Strike after.
And then really,
boy.
I think this is a safer play than what I was gonna say. I would say he could probably just bounce the path. Luminion for Cheryl, but it didn't matter. And that's what makes this deck really annoying to play against, is that they just do that. And there's no shot. Austin looks like he is about to... He's gonna Scroll Vet, hoping for another disruption card. He did use 4 Seal Stone, so he passes. That's the game. Austin just gonna scoop it up. I think well played on both sides. You know, Preston he just always had what he needed at every obstacle. Yeah. And you know, Path and Iono and Judge, they're just not real cards. They don't do shit. I guess that's why you play like multiple copies of your outs. Like that's why the deck plays 3-4 Seal Stones and not just like 1. Yeah. I guess, but like it's still annoying. I would be annoyed. I didn't even play that game, and I'm still annoyed by it.
Yeah, man, just had the hands of magic there. Every time he shuffled his deck was basically a godsend. Was going into a godsend hand there. It didn't matter if his opponent cut him. That was what he wanted them to do. I guess. Like, shit.
That's what I'm saying.
I really have no other comments other than, man, good game to this guy. But both players played it very well.
That's what I'm saying. Do you have any closing thoughts? Any kind of, like, I know you just said you don't have any, like, thoughts of the very end, but do you have any, thoughts of, like, how they could have played their turns a little bit differently? Any sequencing things?
If I'm being honest, I know that the Arctina is more of a disruption deck, but I guess out of the new brain that I am, finding if there was just a boss earlier in the one game, I think that would have been like a little better for the guy. You know, Sherman definitely had it come to him when he was judging and Ionoing for like 3 turns in a row, and it just didn't help him whatsoever. The odds were on his side, and yet they just were not for him this game. I mean, I don't know. I really don't have any thoughts, I guess, other than just... I guess this deck's just kind of weird, because, I mean, it doesn't run any research, so that's the kind of... Usually that's, like, my go-to for some kind of deck like this. You know, there's no way to thin, and, you know, having something like the ability to grab out that Octillery on turn 1 would have made it such a big difference here. Would have also probably prevented Preston from... like going as aggressive as he did on the second game, you know,
right? Just
holding cards, like saying, you know what, I don't even think you can punish me here. I'm fine with this.
And
you know, whereas,
yeah, go ahead.
No, whereas if he was down a game, he'd have to play it a little more defensive, and that would have given Austin a better lead. But you never know. It's all hindsight, of course. You know.
Yeah, and who knows? Maybe if he did go in the beginning of that game 2 and just knock out Urshifu V, maybe he would have been in a better position. Preston would just have to 2-shot his stuff. But then Austin can 2-shot right back, and he's taking more prize cards. In theory, he can just knock out an Inteleon for 3, and then maybe just like boss up an Octillery for 1.
But then when you think about it, you're like, holy shit, this man had 3-4 seal stones. He could have grabbed the Cheryls whenever he wants, you know?
Right,
So
and that's the other thing too.
that.
You go for the disruption to make sure your opponent doesn't have that stuff, and they had it anyway. So
Yeah.
who knows? He was gonna get Octillery anyway. You know, fate decreed it. Whenever I play this deck, I never see it. Well, thank you so much for watching. We got the dynamic duo back for this one.
Yes, sir.
I hope you enjoyed. The next couple of videos, we're gonna do some deck profiles for some of our players that played in League Cups this past week, and then getting ready for Pittsburgh regionals. We're gonna do some vlogging. We're gonna do some fun stuff with that one. So stay tuned.
Very exciting.
Thank you, Josh, for coming out of retirement for this one.
Thank you for having me, as always.
And we will see you in the next video.
Take care, everybody.
I like this kind of eyeing up the 3-prizer. Going on about fuck Tanner. We have to restart. Or at least not restart. His bitch ass called me. Hold on, I'm gonna back it up like 10 seconds.
Wait,